Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Alright, got that stuff taken care of. I should be able to, yep. Okay, cool. Get that camera on. Okay, so I did the update and build here, but I believe that the way that VOG mode works, going to have to update, is this going to be package server configure settings? And then I actually need to know, creating my directory structure. It's package server, build server, source, one life. Build server, source, one life, server, settings. Oh, server also has an allow. Okay. But I thought there was VOG allow accounts. Oh, wait a minute. The default is to allow it. And, apparently Jason didn't push the change to remove the test2 account, which apparently somebody was using. So maybe there's a special check that allows you to log in with that. It might be an experiment from their time. Anywho, the thing we want to do let's see, and I might actually be playing around with eating modes later today, so that would actually be useful. Echo. Now this, I presume I would need to quote this. I've just been using A at B.C. I don't suppose I can, nope. Alright, so this is package server. Which we had just run. If I want to I would essentially want this command. Oh, actually I have this set up to allow an argument, which I think is it bin shell to get in there? Yeah. So we default to DB, which does have settings. So that did not work. Uh... What? I know other settings have taken place. What? Yeah, it's saying nothing changed. Run configure settings. Can you have a shell script just dump everything it's printing? Uh, Echo shell commands as they are executed. Expands variables before the line. Does not expand variables before printing. Does not expand variable. So, I mean, there might be some scripts that do some variable stuff. Not this one per se. Which I guess is already a change to it. And it reruns everything after the context because the context changed. Yeah, there's the echo. Maybe I didn't hit save before? The other thing it could be is that this might be, because it's under database. Well, no, because I changed the food settings and that changed. That's kind of bizarre, but okay. Maybe I didn't hit save. The built artifact isn't different, but that would still bring it up to date. Alright, so that in theory is testable. We also have to do some client changes, then I have to figure out how to use it. Yeah, it'll be fine. So turn that one off, that one on. Oh, I didn't quite get that where I wanted it, but it'll work. Alright, so I need... I need to open stuff up. Oh! It did default the any. Which that keeps opening on the other window. It's just a 0, 1. Alright, and then one life. Living life page has all of actually, I guess it's really, yeah. Get int string if fog mode. Yeah, so we have to go through these and figure out what they do. Alright, so we need a builder. CD offsite, one life, game source. Make and copy onelife.exe to build Windows. One life 2. I removed it because it was 209. I needed a copy of it. We're gonna go ahead and call that our modified one. Which, can I just update this? Right, because it's only a setting that we changed. Oh, how about we run the server? Listening for connections. All right, so that is running. All right, so capital V does something. It locks my camera to this person. And toggles that off. VOG S. VOG pause, get live object current position. VOG mode equals true, VOG picker false, set position. Remove component M object picker. So that must just toggle the mode. Then we have an I. Aha. So we must have just borrowed this from the editor. Oh, my auto open say gets in the way of this because it's not checking for this. And that goes at the character position. Okay. And then we turn VOG off and have food. Okay. So I is object picker. And I might want to adjust the auto open say to account for VOG mode. N, not safe field is focused, send to server socket VOG P. I'm going to look at the server to see what that does. M sends VOG in. Also not sure what that does. Saving speech. Oh, maybe in VOG mode, if you do... Oh, yeah, that doesn't appear over the person, it appears over the space. So that turns it into a location say, I guess. Okay. So I'm going to have to look at the server code to figure out what M and N do. Which are VOG P and VOG N. Next player. VOG jump index. Players.size. So does this jump to other players? Other player, XY. And then, okay, this is previous and next. So this is going to have to change. Okay, so now that would be... Oh, this is... yeah, and no, it was M and N. So does it only do other players? Does not include the VOG player, apparently. Okay. We mostly just need to exist. Okay, so you can say you can create objects, which I need to do some work on. Yes, I can jump to you. I can't jump back to myself. So for the talking bush thing, you'd still have to walk there. I can jump to another player, but if we go to a player, I'm going to say it on top of the person. Okay. I don't think there's any means to jump directly there. VOG player must have hunger turned off. VOG S. Allow VOG mode. VOG allow accounts. Pre-VOG position. Jump player, jump player. Wait, that was NP. What's... Is that turn off? Set map object. Text location speech. VOG off. Ignore non-VOG messages from them. So text, like item. What's VOG M? CD. They probably had this buffer open already. VOG mode and text field. Pause offset. Oh no, my camera's still there. And not text field is any focused. Oh, okay. So we can just... Is that the object picker? I don't know what that is. Oh! It's a hidden, he's using a hidden text field for that. Okay, so we can just browse around. And go have talking trees and bushes. That's probably in special keys. Oh. No. But this could have been... no. But it could have been an actual player who was throwing some additional stuff out. Okay, well, being able to spawn items would be useful. I want to fix my interaction, but I also want to fix something else about the server. For that, I actually want to be looking there. So there was a recent thread. Let's see. I should probably turn this back on while we're at it. Enable VOG mode for... Alright, so that is 1 hour, 1 life. It's actually forums, but I don't know if I've got... No, I do have a link directly there. So there was somebody else who was setting up a server. Recently. Who was having weird bugs with items that similar to what I'd seen. And unfortunately, server is pretty common. And I don't know what else we would search for. There was somebody who was having weird items, and that was something I had seen when I was doing my updates. And there was like a couple of, well, actually I could probably find, well, actually they should be in my data image. So this is supposed to be DB stuff. But I'm not seeing any cache files here. Maybe objects? No. I mean, maybe it's a different file name. You really I think I've redirected all the setting stuff to a different place. No, I wouldn't maintain it. Yeah, I thought it was like some cache files, similar to how the client now has cache files. And it wasn't that long ago either. Server logs. That's how to do it. Yeah, somebody's saying they've been running their private server and they were getting weird errors. Maybe it would be better to search for cache? No, that's for the client. Maybe it was in this thread? Okay. This is not recent. But these only get older. It wasn't that old of a topic. No. I mean, maybe it was a couple weeks. We do go through topics pretty quick, so I guess maybe the filter was useful. But I don't remember what... I probably should have like bookmarked the that or something, because there was something you needed to do. We get a lot of regular threads per day. Well, I might have to look for that one some other time. Oh, I think it was by this person. Possibly. Yeah, some items become cows. Oh, that's right. It was one of the scripts that deleted some things. So it was like pull and build latest. Oh, are we linked to data? CD one life data, RM, there's the cache. Update. It's like a server. Scripts. Check for data update cron. I don't think so, but generate diff only bundle. Yeah, it's like remote server code update. And it's really more of a data update. But maybe both work, or maybe it works for both. Remote server update. How about that? Okay, shutdown mode. One life data can... Where does that show up in here? So Docker... So really it's package server that pulls everything together. Data version number, categories, objects, transitions, first, last, one life server. And then he has stuff linked. How does that work? Dating live server data. Go to data 7, check out master, pull. Oh, star cache. But that would say that in one life data, we've got like all our objects, transitions, and stuff. But I thought I had checked that for cache. So this shouldn't have any cache files in it. We don't run directly on it. But from here, oh, what about, I don't think we're using these. What is it? FCZ. No. No. Hmm. So is the cache files from the client and he's just making sure to clear it out anyway? Because I don't see any place that we are dumping out that cache file, but that seems to be, well, okay, it was star. Hmm. Well, that's everything that happens during a data update. Well, okay, there's server poll, but I think that's probably... Move custom settings back in place after poll. Yeah, no, that's... Server code update? Recompile server. Wrote server code custom post. Oh, this is a one-time thing. Well, I guess I'll wait and see if we get any further weirdness before we poke at it again. Now, I was doing Control-C's at one point. Maybe that left some weird stuff lying around. So meanwhile, we just want a regular server running for testing. And I think we're done with that camera. All right, turn you off, turn you on. All right, I'm gonna update topic. Interaction modes. Actually, when I still need to do the VOG update because the autosave field doesn't play very nice with VOG keys. So what is the problem here? Wait, oh. It died for some reason. Or maybe I just auto... Oh, because I probably had a Control-C in my, my key combo to change the camera. Wait. Oh, speaking of bad updates, did I Control-C that instead of Control-Zing it? I would have expected some stuff around here. Anyway, so if we do V... Oh, when I was going into this... So the big one, and there might be some trouble with the key activation, but the big one for being able to make this easy to use would be checking for... And I could probably just turn it off in VOG mode, really. Let's get on the right patch. All right, so git status. Yeah, I haven't cleaned that up yet. STG series. STG go to open say field on typing. Load file. Oh, apparently VOG mode doesn't prevent you from starving. Interesting. Because I almost swear it did before. So that's in key down. We have some letter capture stuff, and on our default case, say field is, if not, is focused. Now, it's particularly the object picker. But really, anytime you're in VOG mode, you probably want to be more deliberate about when you're typing stuff anyway. Oh, rm livinglifepage.dep. A dependency got removed in the patch process there. All right, so if we go into VOG mode and... Oh, we might have to explicitly focus this, but the point is that it's not... That's fire, huh? Yeah, I guess the... Toot only burns forever. Ooh, that would be a fun one. Wait. Oh, maybe it's not. Now, when I did pi, I'd swear it was just... click. Yeah, it's getting the message. But suddenly it's not doing it. Oh, because my client got moved. So that makes the client send them. Oh, I'm not actually in. Okay. Okay. So I changed my client to do number 2, but now it's defaulting to that. So I either need to go into non-auto launch mode, or I just need to update the embedded email to A1. And maybe I should just stick A2 in there. But we did check out the interface stuff. Oh, and maybe we were losing food because we weren't really VOG. Yep. Yeah, and you do have to focus this. There's something about safe field that auto focuses it, I guess, and that's just a regular fire. That probably replaces it. Ooh. You could do some interesting things with this. Well, some very... Yeah, you can replace otherwise permanentish things. Okay. Well, I think that will pretty much fix all of that stuff. So get status, get diff, one extra little check, STG, refresh that patch, STG series, STG go to, interaction modes. We're going to need to reset that again. All right. So the place we were at was, I think I may have even turned off. Oh no, I didn't have a person mode. I had an eat thing that was maybe still a little weird. So we've got move only by holding down a key that's currently just Z for sake of simplicity. And object only mode, which also drops things, but never moves, because you don't want to walk next to a wolf or a snake or something. And use on self mode. But I found last time I was not... Well, this accomplishes a screen lock, which kind of takes over the basic screen lock for a lot of things. And I found I wasn't using these... Well, it takes over the screen lock, but otherwise I wasn't... Like move mode in particular, I do remember to use a lot. And it is a little awkward to be holding stuff down all the time. For long journeys, I've still got the double click, and that might end up being the move mode. But then you don't use it for a lot of this, like, small scale movement stuff. And I might want to turn hunger back off. But it kind of works for this. Well, or slow down a lot. But I still don't have good solutions. Probably need to open that again. So I have no key for interact with other people. That was when we were working on player mode. We took it over to a plus screen lock. Yeah, this is all a lot of person mode stuff. I don't think I really updated my notes properly. But we've got a lot of actions. So we've currently got a move for mode, a move for object, which doesn't address remove, really. Oh, my current version of this doesn't allow right-click for containers, I think. Because I had modified it to more of a click, so we disabled checking. And so this is where this comes in useful. Yep. This has to be focused. And then I need things I can put in there. So if I do interact mode, I'm only going to get the basket, even if I right-click. So that needs to get undone to use this as I was using it. And right now, that's sort of our best. We've got ourself, and then I don't really have a good way for any of this stuff, because I don't have any other person mode. I don't know that you ever... Well, remove clothing requires sub-targeting. Maybe self should be targeted if I'm over the person. Or another player? That could combine keys. That might be... I mean, one of the problems with the game is we tend to combine keys a lot. So let's go with the theory that we're going to allow right-clicks on object mode. And I'll have to set aside some time to think about this. So where is that going to... pointer down. When I was doing it as a fake click, I just absolutely, totally blocked mod click. And when I was doing it as a click, I did have some issues where that was getting the wrong button. But I found that hitting keys for buttons was kind of weird. Okay, I'm not doing anything for hunger. Oh, so now where'd I put my... Okay, there's the basket. So now if I do object mode... Wait, did I rebuild? I forgot to rebuild. All right, so now, yeah, that was my problem with the previous implementation of object mode, is I couldn't do right clicks or swaps. I'm not sure if there's a better way to do that, but that gives you the equivalent of lock mode with the object priority. Yeah. So that's a step for you. So the other thing right now is I've got this sort of like eat key that doesn't really do anything else. We just send that with always -1. So making that sometimes work as a click. Well, isn't there like a bunch of hit self, cur mouse over self, cur mouse over person? So I might be able to use those to take that and then say, well, okay, if we're currently over a self for a person, then we want to do a fake click to do precision operations, because those should be a little bit less common. Now, it's going to be pretty, it might be common to have the cursor over yourself when you were trying to use that to eat, which then gets you back into the weirdness with backpacks and stuff. I'll have to see how that works out. Now, unfortunately, the way this patch system works out is I don't get. Well, technically, it's in the Git history. You just have to. It's just messy as heck, and you kind of have to find it. Because there was some stuff I had to do when I was faking actions before. Well, I mean, I guess it's stuff like this. Anyway. So the in motion was for... I think that was for all self actions. So if we're not over it, just use on self wherever we are. Oh, but that changes this. Yeah, so this is starting to become a very complicated thing in the middle of our key down sequence. So I might want to think about extracting that. So our other self... if not mod click and hit clothing, then we do that. Oh. Well, no, we're just saying if it's over person, then we worry about, and then let this code take care of it. Where X and Y. So I think it's world mouse X we need. Well, that's fake click, which in fake click is world current mouse vector. Well, this is a little bit different. Pointer down, world mouse X, world mouse Y. Not in motion. So really we want to say, oh, and this was debugging. I think we're done with this. If, M cur, there's going to be a lot of M cur. Jeez. It is a mouse over, I think. Mouse over self or M cur mouse over person. So we're pretty much tracking that anyway. And you'll be an else if. And then I got a pointer down at world. I think I may have had to do some other stuff for this. Also, this doesn't... Well, default mode can still interact with people. Oh, one of the things I wanted out of this was the screen lock. Well, we still got basic screen lock. But when, well, for feeding myself, it's just an action. Otherwise, it's that current location. I'd have to map a screen lock. To do it as a press or hold, I would have to have that occur on the key up to know if it was a hold. Apparently didn't save. Oh. Apparently we got world mouse X and world mouse Y from somewhere. Screen to world, last screen mouse. Oh, hey, look, there's... Yeah. I knew that there was a lot more when I was doing the fake click stuff. That was weird. Alright, so we're going to need... Alright, so use on self. Still use on self. Use on self. I'd need another person to be testing that. And now this is where this is going to be useful. Okay, no, on object. I guess backpack will be the... Okay, so standard click works. Use on self. Oh, that is not working. And then it's just it acts like a normal click. Well, I might be doing something else with my hit detection that's messing with... Yeah, once I take it off, something's weird. I want that click to be interaction mode person. And then there's all of the weirdness. So technically, that makes this a... I have hold keys and I have this. So we should really have... we're kind of mixing styles now. But it might be that that's also breaking the cur mouse over self, cur mouse over person. So I might need to have some debugging to track that stuff. Well, where did our backpack person go? We kept going up. There we go. Should probably move back down where we're more likely to find stuff. Okay. Nope, that's... Yeah, maybe interact person doesn't do... Yeah. So there's something weird going on there. Direct object. Hit our placement, hit an object. Closest cell. So there could be all kinds of things that are messing with... I mean, maybe we have to hit an object to... But interact default, we shouldn't think we're messing with anything. Default move. That permits a move if it's default or move. In person mode, we shouldn't be able to move at all. I think. That changes the set down behavior, but we're not an interact object. Use drop modifier or pickup action. That sets that mode, sets that mode, sets that mode. That is for the release because we're not doing this as a mode right now. Force ground click or move. Just don't do anything. Direct object. Alright, so I need to know... I guess the first thing is key down. We are doing a specific test here. For are we currently over self? And really self is sufficient here. Because there's no other people. I think bools get transferred to ints. And printf is just n. mcur over self. So that would determine whether we... Well, no, it's clearly doing a pointer down. It thinks mcur over self. Oh. VOG mode clicks just don't even register. First ground click. Action pending. Stops movement. Man. There are so many places this could go sideways. Well, let's see if this is actually getting in the way. We haven't really done a lot of stuff with person mode yet. And we did, it was more of a hold down, go into person mode for everything kind of deal. I may also be missing some stuff I need for fake clicks. So there's our backpack. You put it on. Oh. It's not having any of that on the fake click. Well, maybe you have to have left your character? It seems like I have to have done something else. Before it registers that again. So what is like just immune to that click now? Oh, but okay, that's going back to a use on self because it doesn't detect cursor over person. So detecting that, but ignoring the hit. I'm going to leave this out for now because I don't know. Oh, clicking on object during continued motion. Do I need pointer up for anything? Mouse down, false. Final click. Clear mouse oversell. It would most guarantee that things were cleaned up. Now where the heck did I die? There we go. Okay, that was the actual issue. So that does regular clicks. That eats. But that could also eat. It would... To eat, I have to remember to have my cursor off is the thing. If I'm here... Well, I wonder if it's when other clothing... is it loin? And... Rag shirt. Coat? No, that turned into an eat. No, I was using my button. But I was also over the person, so... And if I'm already over a person, that still leaves out some of the target widening. So use on self, but you do have to be targeted on the person. But this is to allow, well, I don't know if it records, well, it has to have a highlighted object, so it has to record that somehow for targeting. But we probably still want to eat. And I don't have any specific method to deal with the right click. I would have to keep spacebar around for locking. Could I do hold to leave it in person mode? And screen lock. So it'd be a fake click and leave it in person mode with key up turning it off. And then that would, well, if I wanted to feed somebody else, that would first attempt to feed myself. Unless I made it straight up. Well, pointer up could also get into trouble. As if you were holding and then like picked up some food to move the screen. Plus we'd have to go add a bunch of code to pointer up. Or no, key up. And then we'd have to fake the clicks. Yes, I'm not actually sure indirect person's doing any... Well, preventing it from moving. But once you're only doing this over a person... Anyway? So it's kind of moot versus just clicking? What would it do different than a regular click? I could have it target the person rather than sub-target clothing and use standard click for clothing. Although you can't really do interact with clothing on other people. But that's going to be down around self. So yeah, so hit self is different than hit other person. So that's really just a status flag. Curve mouse over ID. Other ID is an ID. Mouse already down. Okay, so these actually happened above. Holding, greater, so heal. Like another for non-kill. But if we've already determined that we're over a person, there's no particular reason to have a person mode at all. If hit detection is already determined we're over a person, then we're over a person. And if we're screen locked. Well, that's going to do yeah, what are we doing here? And hit our placement. This is in is the hit detection? This is check for pointer hit. So that's one of the things that was, well, object mode should actually kind of supersede this. And it does have a setting, so I could just turn it off for working purposes. So for the actual click, we could set it up to respect the flag of the mode. But for determining cur over person, it would not trigger if we were in screen lock mode. Having the eat button takes care of 90% of it for me. Although I might want to move these keys to be somewhere more convenient. How do I screen lock and be able to feed myself or someone else? Well, the feed self button does that unless you're over yourself. That takes care of all cases where you're not cur over person. Well, cur over self. But you almost want to do... I kind of want to overload the button to tap or hold. But you would have to detect that. Because like if you're trying to lock to feed somebody, you would first attempt to eat it if it was one pointer down. And we'd want screen lock, which means we'd have to turn this off. It is a setting could just turn off, rather than removing the patch. And then probably, I guess the other keys, just don't use the other keys. This is why UIs are hard. So the only changes we've made so far, well, no, there's probably some other changes. Well, there are other changes right now. I'm not sure what this really matters. But this would allow us to use that for other people. But if we're already over ourself, then we're already over ourself. It doesn't matter. So right now, this does nothing. And all we've done is clean up a in motion flag. This takes care of some of the eating things, because it will never hit a backpack, I think. I know when I was clicking on myself, I would put stuff in a backpack all the time. Was it on any clothing? So the eat button kind of takes care of that. Okay, so it's great for putting on clothes, because it's just whatever's in hand on you. I'm gonna need more berry bushes. I'm not hungry yet. So clicking on that, clicking on that. So I guess in my rush to eat, I am just clicking on backpack a lot. Which that takes care of that. It's not an issue for other players. I actually have to click on the backpack to do that. I have dedicated keys for backpack. There's also apron. It's distinguished between those. I might have to, so I fixed this up. Yeah, it doesn't interact with, no, because I need in object mode, we need to be able to get behind people. Okay, so there's some weird things there where object mode, well, the highlights still work on these things. I guess it's only overriding if there's an object there. So I kind of want to find a better way to go into... I mean, I have not tried a full modal interface yet. I don't think it would be good for eating, because a lot of times you're like, I'm starving, and it is very smooth to go boom boom into your backpack a lot. Having to go pick up change mode, click myself to eat. Wait. I'd swear I must have gotten over the strap. And changing modes when you're trying to do that to kind of pick up eat thing feels like it would be really awkward. I think I know I had one version. Oh, I had a version where object click would do it and lock the screen, but it was awkward to get out of that. Yeah. Which is similar to modal. And pressing keys a lot, like when running or something, or in a lot of objects, started to get awkward. Alright, well now that I've fixed using object mode for right-click functions, or we can do swaps and things. That might be an improvement. I feel like I want like a micro movement mode where I can lock into movement mode without having to hold the key, but like I'm tiptoeing around wolves or something. Maybe you have to be able to detect the double tap? Similarly, you might be able to do object locking for an extensive smithing project. That's kind of what I want. Or could I explicitly deal with capital there? That would be one way to do it. Although for my keypad, that would probably end up being separate keys anyway. And we've already got a key down gap. Well, that wouldn't necessarily detect the same key. And it would conflict with the safe field open. I might have to play with it some more and see how things are working out. And see, and then maybe try to, like, between lives, take notes of what my real pain points are. Did I have any other... So we have no person mode, which affects all this stuff. I'm actually going to want to turn this off without going and turning off the patch just now. It might be nice to have the keys settable, but then that doesn't go work in the switch statement. And that is the name of the file. New folder, new item. Can I actually... actually, it's going to be a 0 because it defaults to 1. Nope, 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 nope. Why are you being silly? We're going to be having object prefer mode take care of that. Actually, that's not really an issue because that's the only time we screen lock, but then I might want to use straight up screen lock to hit people, which is where that got weird. So right now we have self key, which is no person mode. That's that. So we re-enabled this. We have self. We don't really have person mode. We're using default clicks for all this stuff. All right, so this is self eat. Clicking on a person. And self is also used to remove clothing. You need that to pick up kids. So the only other thing is auto update. Well, the precursor to detection has problems in the data that are really hard to figure out. You know, I think I've been forgetting to write down things. That was a wild one where I was like, well, if I'm just going to pick up an object and use some, could I just drag it? Instead of having to do click, click. Now, right now, holding down. Does run. So I'd have to supersede that. And where would we... So this would actually be a right click. So that does it. And then could we like go over there or pick this up and go over there? So if we've picked up an object, it does not trigger move mode. Really? Okay. Oh, because I did open the header file at one point. Which means pointer up would have to do a pointer down, which could get weird. Yeah, I mean, if we did it before all the cleanup. Oh, player action pending. That might be an awkward one. Ready to execute next action. I wish it was easier to tell what function we're in. Because if you do a quick drag, that would get very awkward. Confirm action. Wait, if player action is pending, we can't record mouse down false? Oh no, it does this. Oh, you know what? I created the mouse held flag, which is separate. That might be an interaction there I didn't notice. And we're in motion. So if I did that where we were still in motion? So how would we detect? This would be if it was a pointer up, if we... Now, does mouse held require a time? Yes, it requires a time. But we would have to check in motion to not conflict with this. Or if mouse held, this would be mouse held and not in motion. Mouse held and in motion. Path to depth not equal to null. Current path. This is a straight up pointer down. But this is saying if path not equal to null. And we're not right near the end. Oh, that's to stop it immediately. Yeah, so the problem is you might run to something. Still be in motion when the other event came in. So we want to go something like that. Where you might have had to run to it. Maybe we have to assume you've gotten there? Series, STG... So pointer down, I would probably want to do this in object mode. So this is if mouse held and not in motion. So it's automatically exclusive of this. So we can kind of skip that. Although really it does reuse an awful lot of this. We do need the live object. We use it often enough here, we should probably streamline that, but it's kind of hard to do as a patch. And I want to do this in int interaction mode. Yeah, interact object. And then we're going to go ahead and clear all these flags. Now, do I want to do this anytime it's held and not moving? It might only be if holding. Our live object holding ID greater than 0. There's our live object again. I kind of want to say we should just do this. I mean, I guess it technically only scopes it to here, but we're almost done. Oh, not 0. Alright, so we had some objects we can interact down here. That's what I thought. So why is that acting as a alt click? We don't even... in X, in Y are just what we got. Last mouse button right. Shouldn't be? Oh, but it's going to count as mouse already down because we haven't cleared the mouse down flag. Interesting, that turns into a swap. Oh, well, I've also got something that treats a click at the end of an auto run. That should be auto run, not... Let's try... See what that does. Might need to clear held as well. But I definitely need to clear them afterwards. So I need a steady supply of objects to test things on. Ah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that was the standard run. Oh, I guess I can do the branches a couple times. And so the problem is we're like still in motion, we're still interacting. Oh, it also doesn't count as a hold, probably. So you can't just quickly whip it over there. Because it'll look like an ordinary click. And there are probably going to be times where you're going to, like, just... I was going to say if it's in a different tile. There are probably going to be times when you'll just bump over the edge of something. And I don't know if last tile is recorded anywhere. And object mode drops, so you do want to be a little bit careful with that. Actually, that's an interesting question. What's something... I mean, I guess branches still work for this. For this... But what if you wanted to pick something up and swap it? Well, you just wouldn't do this. But could you set it up to remove and use? For that, you would have to... What would you have to do? Is last mouse button right is like a global thing. I would have to have some specific flag. To say this is not a mod click. That could be an interaction mode, although I'd have to find everything that referenced interact object and do the same thing. Unless... Except it would also clear mod click. And interact drop, I guess. which would largely... Well, you couldn't eat with it, because we set it up to do objects. But, well, a lot of times you're pulling more than one thing out of a container. So you need to make sure you got the right thing anyway. So you wouldn't really do that much. And I keep losing all my stuff. As I wander about trying things. This does not have autofocus. Of course, now I need a okay. Oh, that stays. So it would not be a normal situation. Oh. So sometimes it works, but no, very often you'll have this like mixed basket with like food and tools. So it's like, what are you going to grab? I don't know. So that's kind of nice. I guess it wouldn't work well for plates. No, I guess I was too fast that time. Yeah, I probably hit my hold threshold. That could be something to experiment with. Although that makes... Do I directly reference hold? That makes it direct. If I reference hold, it's directly dependent on the auto run patch. Well, and the interact patch. So this is not an independent feature at all. But even without interact object, does interact object be okay? We could do, I mean, we could figure out how to unpatch that. It's just, it's a very, that there's things you want to do if these things exist. And I don't know of any way to make it work with or without that. Well, mouse hold could be implemented directly. Some user feedback would be nice. A sort of standard version of this would be to have the object appear like as the cursor. To say you're going to combine these two things. Is the cursor even a thing that this draws, or is that minor gem stuff? Wait, cursor IDs. Do we have multiple cursors? I've never noticed the cursor changing. Oh, precursor IDs. Yeah, this is a pretty large, deeply nested ifs in large code base with very large functions and deeply nested ifs. So yeah, I have a hard time discovering or understanding myself. Yeah, I mean I'm often like catching up on Discord and stuff when I'm going into other people. Pointer? This is C++. And I'd say most of it is C. I guess there's some vectors, there's some objects. This is a page, which is an object. But I mean, other than those couple of core things, it feels mostly very explicit, and there's not a whole lot of dynamic dispatch and stuff. You know, all the object database, there's no code, databased, there's no code there, or no per object code. Anyway, I was looking for pointers, pointer down, check for pointer hit, pointer move. Yeah. Oh. I'm assuming pointer drag. It's just a location. So does that give me a drag? This is a minor gems question. What does pointer drag give me? Is that a while dragging or a end of drag? Mouse dragged. Ignore next mouse event. Seeing the event that triggered the ignore. Screen to world pointer drag. Yeah, that would be my first. Oh, this is mouse GL handlers. But there's mouse moved and mouse dragged, so. Game scene handler. Button GL had been dragged outside of us or were disabled, so unpress this. GUI container GL. GL translator. Mouse cursor region. Pressed color. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, pressed color equals the pressed color, which says that is not a end of drag. That is, yeah, that's a current dragging. We need other context. We'd have to set up our own context to say, yes, we're currently doing this. Get home location. And we end up using last screen mouse X would have to be involved. Oh no, get in anything that was drawing the pointer, right? Oh, I actually did this once, but I pulled it back out. Where I changed the pointer to a arrow for the screen push. Pointer drag, pointer move. Or maybe there's like a minor gems call to do it? Which get to change the pointer graphics. So I guess I need to go back to minor gems, see if that has anything about cursors or pointers. Cursor mode. Cursor image, big pointer. But I didn't have to... go into minor gems. Force big pointer? Oh, or maybe it's not in here. No. What is this? Main function. Do we use big pointer out here? It's in the makefile list. Cursor image. Because I had totally done this before. Data mask. SDL create cursor, SDL set cursor. Oh. This is a SDL thing. So maybe I was able to call SDL set cursor to do it, but unfortunately that is not change controlled. Yeah, bye. Thanks for dropping in. I'll probably be wrapping up pretty soon myself. SDL create cursor, data mask. Yeah, so I probably had to call into this stuff. I don't think I was doing patch control at that time. Yeah, actually the GUI thing doesn't work off of that. Not one life. Oh no, that might actually be when I was doing everything in the repo directly. So it would be buried back in that history. Extracted. Path fading. Oh yeah, that kind of drop. Yeah, that feels too recent. So that would be back to 1 life. Man, that needs compression off a lot. I guess it's st-get doing all its stuff. We do need all branches because I don't know how to pick any other branch because there was a 2015. When did I start hacking on this? Because actually, it would have been roughly where custom left off. Oh wait, I didn't update my source. Oops. Because I got all the updated data. I mean, there wasn't much that was changed. It was mostly server. CD minor gems. Yeah, server and data. Her. And then, STG status, or STG series. So this is something right now. And then a rebase on JSON. All right, so that was all fine. But I was looking through history. Where is my old custom branch? Okay, so there's Edge Auto Run. Where's our on U2? That's where st-get came in. There's the remote custom. Overlapping objects. Merge. Object detection. Merge. Remove draw arrows. Get arrow diff. Oh, I was just drawing the arrow on top. Okay. And I was using some already existing graphics, so I didn't have to do any graphics setup. Blend was appropriate for that, so I would essentially have to get the holding object. Or do some other effect with that. Yeah, so just draw, well, that's a draw sprite. If it was a container or something, it'd be more than a sprite. And the way the game works, I don't know if, yeah, I mean, you can carry an object or it can be, draw sprite, draw object anim. Yeah, that might be it. Held pack. Not sliding into place, draw it now. Held to draw on top. Unfortunately, this is a really complicated call. Held object, any sprites behind player. Ooh, num contained equals 0. Holding ID, cur held type. Held time, held anim, fade at target, target held. Frozen rot held time. Frame count used as a pointer. End anim type, held object draw pause. That we could figure out. Hold rot, you could probably do a constant held flip. Man. Else we have to consider the contained. That's just setting the heat. Yeah, drawing an object though. Maybe that's not the indicator I want to use? Where's held rot? If in object holding ID not equal to 0, it's sort of like that. If only there was like a draw held object function that didn't assume the location. Or just draw object. It's like, here's your, well, I guess we need all the information about it. Because it's an ID. Are there any, like, dumb, stupid, simple ground time value? What is this? That's for a floor, which is a pretty simple object. We need to pass a pointer to something. So we're drawing object anim and we're drawing explorer's split sprite? There's also a held pack. So we've somehow packed up all of the parameters. Yep, held pack. Oh, draw a live object gives you the information to do its held thing? hideable object. Yeah, the simplest version seems to be drawing the ground. There's a mode that like highlights a tile. Current note, current sound, current arrow, current des, last 8, cur mouse over ID, m grid pause mouse over spot, m cur mouse over world. I don't know what makes those get drawn. Wait, mouse over cell. Max empty cell fade. Set draw color, mouse over cell fade. M cell fill sprite. Well, I stumbled into that. So what triggers you? And he highlighted our placements. Oh, this is still just mouse over spot, draw map cell. Mouse over ID. But that should be an object. We're not mousing over an object or person, and we're not moving, and we're holding something. Fade cell in, fade cell out. You know, I've never paid. I know you see a square sometimes. I've not paid attention to when it triggers. Okay, so it fades in. Or is that any time? No, when you're holding an object. Oh, and it's faster. So I want that to be working here. We're not mousing over any object or person. Fade cell out. Not equal to -1. Object not. We're not moving and we're not holding something. So this fades it out. That's VOG. Click dest. It's the cell. That's just a click dest, not a clear mouse over cell. That draws it. Oh, this might be the little frame. No, that's a cell border sprite. Cell fill sprite. Which gets done from mouse over cell and show highlights. Prev mouse over cell, but that's to fade them out if they need to fade out, right? Yes, so maybe it's show highlights. Oh, show mouse over highlights. Okay, so that's not quite it. Yeah, it seems like plus equal. We're not moving and we're holding. Fade cell in. We're not mousing over any object or person or fade cell out. We're not directly over the object. Well, I could probably... Oh, cur mouse over cell. Oh, this might be really ugly to get to trigger. Prev, cur mouse over cell, click dest, clear, 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 VOG. So what are you? You're check for pointer hit, so it's not necessarily an actual click dest when we're hovering. If not in motion, maybe pointer move doesn't update it. If mouse is held, unloading first object, dead server socket. Check for pointer hit. Mouse over ID, not mouse over self. Previous mouse overs. Why doesn't that work? Well, this might be a puzzle for another day, because this is... Because there's clearly code there to do it. But if I drag, it doesn't. And those don't combine. And it's not clear. Wait. Oh, it doesn't do that in object mode. Well, it also doesn't highlight this. But I'm not doing anything in object mode there. So there's something in mouse move or check for pointer hit that cares about mouse down or mouse held. I think that'd be the only thing that could do it. Mouse already down. Clicking on an object. Player action pending. We think we cleared that. Got mouse held. That's pretty much it. This is continuous movement mode, which should be pointer down, yes. Auto run. This is my special code. Yeah, that's going to have to be mystery for another day. Anything else pointer up does? Mouse down, mouse held. Clear mouse over cell. Maybe it doesn't. Or maybe it locks the current cell while you're held. And it won't update it unless it has been set to negative. Which means I would have to clear that. So that never does anything here. Hmm. The alternate method would be to figure out how to draw an object with all of its parameters, but that's like 15 parameters we have to sort out. So that might also be an adventure for another day. Because I do want to, have lunch and then play the game this afternoon. Speaking of which, so we didn't have any status, didn't have any debugging in there. And copy to one life to the games, one life. Oh, and we had the update to latest version, which I think was mostly server stuff, but it still touched it and rebased. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hosting. What do we got going on? I'm normally on in the mornings. Very often I'm pretty much doing 1 hour One Life on Saturdays, so I'm doing the setup stuff before that. And I guess we just saw Makings of a Hero here. She's working on a RTS MOBA. Looks like it might be modeling right now. But if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. And not muted. Goodbye, and until next time.